Viruses. What are the viruses? So viruses are the microscopic infectious agent, means they are the tiny entities that cannot be seen under with the naked eyes. They are only observed under the microscopic evaluation only, and they cause infection in the various organisms. Also, viruses are incapable of independent life, means they cannot replicate themselves. They lack the ability to live and replicate on their own. And for this reason only, they are dependent on the host organism, means they take over the machinery, the cellular machinery of the host to replicate themselves. And that is why they are dependent on the host cell due to the lack of the cellular machinery. The viruses are basically, they are not included under the five kingdom classification. And why they are excluded from the five kingdom classification? Because by that time five kingdom classification was developed. By that time the recognition of the viruses as a distinct entities were not as developed, and they were excluded from the traditional kingdom. Why? Because the viruses are considered as the acellular organisms or acellular entities, we can say. While in the five kingdom classification, the classification is based, means the kingdom classification is based on the basis of their the cellular structure, means the cellular organization, that the particular organism is unicellular or they are multicellular. So on the basis of the cellular organization, the kingdom is classified, and also on the mode of the nutrition. But the viruses being the acellular, means they do not contain the cell, and we know that this organism, those contain the cell, are only the living organism. While viruses are the acellular, means they do not contain the cells, and they are considered as non-living organism because their existence as alone independently, they are non existence mode. They only exist or they only gets activated in the host cell whenever they get attacked to the host, means they attack the host and they take over the machinery of the host cellular machinery and replicate themselves. That is why they are not included under the five kingdom classification. Now let's this understand about the discovery of the viruses. In the late 19th century, Dmitri Ivanovsky has been credited for the discovery of the viruses, and the scientists observed that the disease usually affecting the tobacco plant, and the disease is known as tobacco mosaic viruses. The mosaic name is given because it gives the appearance of the mosaic pattern on the leaves. And the disease which is affecting this tobacco plant can be transmitted through a filter that can retain the bacteria on it, and it suggests that if the filter can pass this infectious particle from it, means that they are smaller than a smaller size than the bacteria. Okay, so in the early 20th century, the Martinez Beijing, they extract the infected plant and causes infection in the healthy plant, and thus known as the phenomena contagium vivum fluidum, means infectious living fluid. Means when the extracted fluid from the diseased plant is injected into the healthy plant, the viruses or that fluid causes infection in the healthy plant also. That is why it is known as the contagium vivum fluidum. And the Beijing also coined the term virus. Virus to describe the infectious agent which is causing the tobacco mosaic virus. The Twart and the Harrell, they discovered the bacteriophage Bacteriophage is a viruses that infect the bacteria. Okay. Then in the 1930s, basically in the 1935, the Wendell Stanley crystallizes the tobacco mosaic viruses. Okay, and also provided the evidence that viruses are the distinct entities with a structure which is separated from the cell, and crystallizes the tobacco mosaic virus, which mainly composed of protein only. Okay. So the crystal of the viruses contain the protein only. Now, before understanding or discussing more about the viruses, first of all, let's understand some of the common term, the virion and the virus and arbovirus. Okay, so virus and the virion, basically they are they refer to the related, but they are some distinct concept when we are talking in the virology. So viruses basically is the entire infectious agent. Entire infectious agent means that it encompasses both its extracellular as well as intracellular form throughout its life cycle. Means from the attack to the host cell and getting entry inside into the host, multiplying inside the host. So causing infection means from attack to causing infection. That entity basically refers to as virus. While virion basically it refers to the extracellular infectious particle that can enter the host cell and initiate the infection process. Means it's just the initial stage only. Till then, the virion can attack the host cell only. So that stage, the particle is known as a virion. Okay. So these are basically the term which can be used interchangeably, but it's very important to recognize that distinction between them in the context of the virology. So arbovirus. The arbovirus is also a term which is mainly derived from the arthropod-borne virus. Arthropod-borne virus means these viruses basically they do not cause the infection directly. They needed some vector by which they cause some infection in the human body or any other host with the help of the arthropod. So it refers to the viruses that is primarily transmitted to the vertebrates, including humans, through the bite of the arthropod vectors. And arthropod vectors included mosquitoes, ticks, and sandflies. Sandflies. Okay. And these viruses basically are maintained in the nature through the cycle of the transmission between the arthropod vectors and vertebrate hosts. And these arbovirus also it causing our it can causes a range of the disease in the human. For example, it can cause the encephalitis, as well as hemorrhage, fever also. Now let's understand the size, shape and symmetry of the viruses. Basically, the viruses are of three sizes: the small one, medium size and the large viruses. The small viruses basically it can be as small as 20 to 30